Church of Our Lady Mary of Zion. The Church of Our Lady Mary of Zion, located in Aksum, Ethiopia, claims to hold the most important religious object in history, the Ark of the Covenant. According to Ethiopian tradition, this sacred box containing the original 10 Commandments has been kept here for over 3,000 years. Only one person on earth can see it, a single guardian monk chosen for life who can never leave the church grounds. Even the head of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church is banned from entering the inner room. The church was first built in the 4th century and has been destroyed and rebuilt several times. The current guardian spends his entire life praying before the ark and burning incense. When he dies, he must choose his replacement before passing away. While experts debate whether the Ethiopian ark is authentic, the restrictions remain absolute. No archaeologists, historians, or religious leaders from outside Ethiopia have ever been allowed to examine it. Coca-Cola Vault. The Coca-Cola Vault in Atlanta, Georgia, protects one of the world's most valuable business secrets, the original recipe for Coca-Cola. This formula, created by pharmacist John Pemberton in 1886, has been guarded for over 135 years and is worth billions of dollars to the company. Only a few people alive today know the complete recipe, and they're never allowed to fly together on the same plane in case of an accident. The vault is located inside the World of Coca-Cola Museum in downtown Atlanta, but visitors can only see the outside of the secure room. The recipe is kept in a high-tech safe that needs multiple security keys to open. Company bosses claim the formula has never been written down entirely in one place, with different parts stored separately to prevent theft. Even top Coca-Cola workers don't get to see it. The company has turned this into a marketing tool, with the secret formula becoming part of Coca-Cola's brand image. Despite many attempts by competitors and scientists to reverse engineer the drink, the original formula stays protected, making it one of America's most guarded business secrets. Fort Knox. Fort Knox, located in northern Kentucky, is home to the United States Bullion Depository, one of the most secure buildings on Earth. The depository was built in 1936 during the Great Depression, when America needed a safe place to store its wealth. This fortress holds about 147 million ounces of gold bars, worth hundreds of billions of dollars and representing roughly half of America's reserves. The two-story granite and steel structure is surrounded by multiple layers of protection, including armed guards, electronic sensors, and huge steel doors. Even the combination to the main vault is split among several people, so no single person can open it alone. The phrase, "secure as Fort Knox," exists because this place is considered nearly impossible to break into. No visitors are allowed inside, and no tours have been given since World War II. Even top officials rarely get permission to enter. The last time reporters were allowed inside was in 1974, and they could only see a small part of one room. Kalaupapa. Kalaupapa, located on a remote part of the Hawaiian island of Molokai, was once the world's most isolated leprosy colony. From 1866 to 1969, over 8,000 people with leprosy were forced to go to this windy peninsula, separated from the rest of the world by huge sea cliffs on 3 sides. People were basically dumped on the beach and left to take care of themselves in what was pretty much a place to die. The most famous resident was Father Damien, a Belgian priest who came to help and eventually got leprosy himself and died in 1889. The colony had a strict no-contact rule, meaning residents could never leave and families could never visit. People sent here were declared legally dead by the Hawaiian government, even though they were still alive. They were so isolated that residents had to build their own houses, grow their own food, and make their own community from nothing. Medical improvements eventually made leprosy treatable, and the forced separation ended in 1969. But some former residents chose to stay in the only home they had known for years. Today, getting into Kalaupapa is highly restricted to protect the privacy of the few people who still live there. Visitors need special permission and must be part of authorized tours or have work business. The area is run as a national historical park, but unlike other parks, tourism is strictly limited. Only a few people are allowed to visit each day, making Kalaupapa one of Hawaii's most forbidden places. McMurdo Dry Valleys. McMurdo Dry Valleys, located in Antarctica's Victoria Land, is one of the most extreme and restricted places on Earth. This 1,900 square mile region is the largest ice-free area in Antarctica, with powerful winds that can reach 200 miles per hour and blow away any snow that tries to stick. The landscape is so harsh and cold that it's often called Mars on Earth, and NASA actually uses this location to test equipment for Mars trips. Temperatures can drop to -50 degrees, and some spots haven't seen rain in over 2 million years. The region contains weird features like blood falls, where iron-rich water flows out of a glacier and turns bright red when it hits the air. There are also frozen lakes that never melt and rocks that move by themselves across the floors. Scientists believe tiny germs living in the soil and rocks here might be similar to life forms that could exist on other planets. The landscape is so untouched that even a single footprint or tire track can last for decades. Getting access requires special permits from national Antarctic programs and can take 6 months or more to get approved. Only researchers with approved projects can visit, and they must pass medical exams and survival training before being allowed in. Transportation is by military cargo planes that land on ice runways. Visits are limited to protect this unique environment, making it one of the world's most scientifically important forbidden zones. Pine Gap. Pine Gap, located 18 kilometers southwest of Alice Springs in Australia's remote desert, is one of the world's most secret spy bases. This joint American-Australian base is surrounded by electric fences carrying 8,000 volts and guarded by over 80 armed police officers. It's part of the Echelon program, a global surveillance network run by the Five Eyes. Taking photos is completely banned, and anyone who tries to get in gets arrested immediately. The facility is so secret that even most Australian government workers don't know what happens inside. The base works as a key part of America's worldwide spy network, controlling satellites that listen in on phone calls and provide targeting information for military attacks around the world. Its 38 white satellite dishes, called golf balls, watch 1/3 of the planet, including China, North Korea, and Russia. All public visits stopped after 9/11, ending the 800 tours that used to happen each year. The base got much bigger in 2020 with 10 new satellite dishes, and recent protests over Gaza have led to activists blocking roads outside. Iron Mountain. Iron Mountain, located deep beneath Pennsylvania, is one of the world's most secure facilities. This former limestone mine has been converted into a massive vault that houses precious documents, artifacts, and digital data. The facility is said to be safer than Fort Knox, with multiple protection layers including armed guards, high-tech cameras, and climate-controlled rooms. The subterranean location provides natural disaster protection, and an artificial lake helps maintain perfect temperatures. Iron Mountain stores master recordings from major music labels, iconic photographs, historic event documentation, and critical legal papers for Fortune 500 companies and government agencies. Clients range from corporations to private collectors needing ultra-secure storage. The facility operates like a giant safety deposit box where only depositors can access their items. What makes Iron Mountain even more interesting is the fact that the public isn't allowed to know what it contains. Visitors cannot enter storage areas, and employees sign strict confidentiality agreements. Mezhgorye. Mezhgorye, a closed city in Russia's Ural Mountains, is one of the world's most secret nuclear sites. This heavily guarded town has been completely off-limits to outsiders since it was built during the Soviet era in the 1980s. The Russian government has never fully explained what the city is for, giving different stories over the years, including claims it's used for mining, food storage, or emergency shelters. Construction continued even after the Soviet Union fell apart, suggesting something vital happens here. The city sits beneath Mount Yamantau, the highest peak in the southern Urals at 5,381 feet, which provides natural protection from attacks. Western spy agencies believe it works as an underground command center designed to keep running during nuclear war. Satellite photos show roads, buildings, and other structures around the mountain, but nobody knows the true size of what lies beneath. Getting into Mezhgorye requires special government permission that's almost never given. The area is watched by armed guards and surrounded by restricted zones. Even most officials don't know what happens inside, making it one of the most mysterious places on Earth. Hashima Island. Hashima Island, also known as Battleship Island, is an abandoned coal mining site located off the coast of Nagasaki, Japan. This small place was once one of the most crowded places on Earth, housing over 5,000 coal miners and their families in tall apartment blocks. It got its nickname because its shape looks like a Japanese battleship from far away. When coal mining ended in 1974, everyone left within months, leaving behind a complete ghost town that has been slowly falling apart for 50 years. The site is filled with rotting structures, rusted machinery, and personal belongings left behind. Staircases lead to nowhere and walls are covered in moss. Most areas remain completely off-limits because chunks regularly fall from crumbling walls, and old mining shafts pose serious safety risks to anyone who gets too close. Access was completely banned for decades due to safety concerns about unstable conditions. In recent years, limited guided tours have been allowed, but visitors can only walk on a small marked path and view the ruins from a safe distance. Most areas, including the residential blocks and mining facilities, remain forbidden. Even tour guides must follow safety rules, making Hashima one of Japan's most restricted sites. Mount Weather. Mount Weather, located in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia, is one of America's most secret bunkers. This heavily protected underground site was built during the Cold War to work as an emergency command center where top U.S. leaders could keep running the country during a nuclear attack or major disaster. The bunker is designed to house the president, Congress members, and other key officials for long periods while the outside world deals with the nuclear war. Most Americans have never heard of Mount Weather, despite it being one of the most important backup places for the U.S. administration. The site is built deep inside a mountain and can supposedly survive direct nuclear hits. It contains everything needed for long-term survival, including sleeping rooms, meeting areas, communication equipment, and food supplies. The bunker has its own power plant, water system, and air cleaning to keep people alive underground for months. Above ground, it looks like a normal office building, but the real operation lies far beneath, where it stays hidden from public view. The site operates in total secrecy, with no public tours or information about its capabilities. Nicosia Buffer Zone. The Nicosia Buffer Zone, also known as the Green Line, is a UN-controlled no-man's land that cuts through the heart of Cyprus's capital city. This 2.4 miles wide strip has divided the island since 1974, when Turkish troops invaded Cyprus and started a civil war between Greek and Turkish communities. When the fighting ended with a ceasefire, the United Nations took control of this abandoned area, creating one of the world's longest-lasting military buffers. It stretches 111 miles across the entire island, but nowhere is it more obvious than in Nicosia, where it splits the city in two. The area contains empty buildings, deserted streets, and rusted cars left behind when people fled during the conflict. Weeds grow through broken pavement, and bullet holes still mark walls after 50 years. UN peacekeeping forces patrol the area to prevent new clashes. There are barbed wires, concrete walls, guard towers, and warning signs in different languages that tell people to stay out. Access is strictly controlled, and only official workers can enter. Regular people are banned from crossing except at official border points. The area has become an accidental wildlife preserve, with animals thriving in the abandoned urban space. Despite decades of peace talks, it remains as divided as ever, making it one of Europe's most forbidden places. RAF Fylingdales. RAF Fylingdales, located on the North York Moors in Yorkshire, England, is one of the world's most iconic military sites. It's easy to spot because of its huge pyramid-shaped radar that can be seen for miles across the countryside. This facility works as an early warning system for missile attacks, giving just 4 minutes notice of incoming threats. It's part of a missile warning network that works with similar installations in Alaska and Greenland to protect against nuclear attacks. The site has strict no-fly zones overhead, but recent events have made RAF Fylingdales even more restricted. In 2024, mysterious drones led to F-15 fighter jets being deployed to stop them, and new exclusion zones were created. Even though visible from public roads, it remains completely off-limits to civilians. If you liked this video, subscribe for similar ones or join my Discord to suggest another.